The intruder stood there, his aura heavy, crushing hearts before bodies. Eyes trembled in his presence. No one even dared to swallow. Only Gogeta stepped forward, standing before Zeno, embodying a silent fortress of light. Then, the intruder finally spoke. "Don't worry, I only came to end the period of rest you've lived in. I left this world for moments and returned with something far greater to extinguish the light. It is darkness, and now it belongs to me." His words fell onto hearts like blades. Gogeta said nothing, his eyes alone fixed on him, sharp, unblinking. Suddenly, Zeno moved, one step, then another, until he stood in front of Gogeta, not behind him. The tension skyrocketed. Gogeta's features tightened in clear concern, yet he neither stopped Zeno nor held him back. Zeno raised his finger toward the intruder and spoke sharply. "Now I know the truth. You lied to me and deceived me for years, and what you did to my guards is undeniable proof." The priest laughed, an evil, hysterical laugh. "Well then, Zeno, let's be honest for the first time. Yes, I lied to you. Not because the truth is dangerous, but because you're a child, cowardly, naive, incapable of understanding anything." The entire universe trembled. Zeno slowly lifted his finger upward, his tone carrying a final judgment. "Very well, I will show you what it means to lie to the king for all this time. I will erase you now." Gogeta said nothing, his eyes alone watching. Zeno added, "Goku and Vegeta are my true guards now, and I will not be deceived again." Then Zeno unleashed the technique. Light exploded, flooding sky and earth, completely engulfing the priest. Silence filled the universe. When the light began to fade, the priest appeared standing, unchanged, not a single scratch. Zeno's blood froze. Meanwhile, Gogeta narrowed his eyes slightly, as if he already knew the outcome would be like this. The priest broke the silence. "Didn't I tell you, Zeno? You are still the same stupid child who thinks his authority is the ultimate limit. For millions of years, the only thing that truly threatened me was that technique of yours. But now, I possess something your childish mind cannot comprehend." Then he raised his hand and added, "Since you tried your little toy, let me show you mine." A suffocating dark energy formed on his palm. Before anyone could understand what was happening, suddenly, the priest's hand was cut off, severed, flying in the air like a puppet whose strings were sliced. The priest froze. The pain hadn't even reached his brain yet. And then Gogeta appeared. He was standing before him, holding the priest's severed hand in his own. A mocking, explosive smile spread across his face. He said with disdain,
"Before you reach your hand toward him, you should first learn what it means to extend your hand to a place you don't belong. Don't worry, I'll give you your hand back, but only after I finish you." Then Gogeta tossed the hand in front of the priest as if it were worthless scrap. Everyone looked at the priest, and instead of screaming, he smiled. A cold smile, as if nothing had happened. "Really? Is this how you welcome a guest who came to end the chaos of this universe? No matter. I lost an arm, and you will lose everything after I show Zeno what it means for a child to play with a throne he doesn't deserve." Before the priest could finish his sentence, Gogeta vanished from his place again, and in less than a fraction of a second, a direct strike to the priest's mouth, making the air itself crack around them. His hand gripping the priest's jaw, he said, "Enough talking. Your disgusting voice is pounding in my head. If you didn't like having your hand torn off, then I'll rip out this mouth that doesn't know silence." The priest bent in pain, and suddenly his teeth fell to the ground one by one. Everyone was struck with shock, but besides that, the priest was smiling. A smile mixed with blood, without a trace of fear. Gogeta took a step toward him. "Finished counting your teeth?" He grabbed the priest by the hair violently. "Good. Now listen to me. Your feet should never have touched this place. Your presence alone contaminated the air. Suddenly, he snapped his neck. Then, he hurled him upward at a speed beyond tracking until the priest disappeared into the heights. Immediately after that, the severed hand moved on its own like a creature regaining consciousness, then launched like a hyper-fast missile, piercing through the clouds toward the sky, crossing space with a dark streak that devoured every light it touched. And above, the priest stretched out his severed arm. The hand returned to its place as if it had never been cut off. The power of darkness had granted his body a flexibility that surpassed nature itself. But he wasn't done yet. He flicked his fingers lightly, forming a small sphere of energy, dark, hiding something unknown. On the ground, the friends gasped, but Gogeta did not blink. He turned to them with a calm, unwavering voice and said, "Rest assured, I'll finish this far from this dimension. Even if this planet is protected, it won't withstand a battle in this existence." He began to ascend, but a childlike voice stopped him. Wait! He turned. He saw Zeno below, his hand up. "Please, avenge me. Don't leave a trace of him. I trust you now." Gogeta smiled and said, "Every step I took was for you. I will give you everything back, and I will fold this darkness away forever." Then he vanished. A single streak of light tore through the sky, leaving behind an echo of indescribable power. And in space, the priest, still smiling after restoring his hand, felt only one thing. Then, one strike, a kick that sent the priest hurtling until he collided with the boundaries of existence itself. An invisible wall shattered in a burst of light, and a massive gateway to another dimension swallowed him whole. On planet Earth, a terrifying silence spread. The friends stood frozen. Gohan said, "I can't feel their power at all anymore, as if they vanished from existence." Whis replied, "They are, in another dimension." As for Zeno, he stood alone, small, fists clenched, looking at the sky with the eyes of a child struggling not to cry. "Please, come back to me safely, both of you."
In a place far, far beyond what the mind can imagine, a strange dimension. Time there is heavy, terrifying, unfamiliar planets, eroded, suspended with no orbit, and a suffocating silence that makes the heart beat slowly. Here, Gogeta appeared. He descended into the middle of this strange void. A few meters away, the priest stood without any discomfort, a faint smile on his face, thinking to himself before speaking. "Excellent! Exactly as I planned. He entered the place I wanted him to." Then he lifted his gaze toward Gogeta and said, "Do you know, everything happening now, I have already seen before. Only one final step remains. Just one." Gogeta frowned, but he showed no real interest. "Say whatever you want to say." "Ha ha, excellent! This place is what granted me what I've long needed." Gogeta raised an eyebrow, a mocking smirk. "Huh, so this place gave you what you wanted. All right, let's see if it gives you anything against this." Then he vanished. A terrifying speed, and in an instant, Gogeta's head smashed into the priest's abdomen with immense force. The priest trembled and bent forward, the air bursting from his chest all at once. But his smile did not disappear. He muttered, "A beautiful strike, but the unfortunate part is that this place granted you the strength you need to strike, but not the strength you need to survive." The priest extended his hand behind his back, a faint cracking sound. Then a tiny orb of energy delicate, nearly invisible, formed behind him like before, but now more dangerous, heavier, as if it carried something that should never be unsealed. The priest smiled with confidence. "Let's begin now." He attacked with consecutive punches, each blow stronger than the one before, enough to blow up a planet. But Gogeta, smiling, blocked every strike with ease, as if they were nothing. The priest froze, shock spreading as frustration and anger showed on his face. Gogeta smiled. True strength isn't in the darkness you wield, but in the clarity held by the spirit. Gogeta stepped closer and placed his hand on the priest's chest with absolute confidence, saying, "You should have prepared yourself before preparing the place. You thought you were greater than you really are." A massive wave of energy burst from Gogeta, hurling the priest mercilessly across space until he slammed into a strange planet with crushing speed. The impact caused the planet itself to explode. After seconds, the priest did not give up. He said with determination, "I only wanted to test your strength, but it seems I'll have to increase the pressure." Then the priest screamed with all his might, charging his energy. A dark, oppressive glow burst from his body, like a suffocating ring devouring everything around it. Suddenly, he transformed into a far more terrifying form, black upon black, darkness itself becoming his body. The priest, "Very well! Darkness is now the core of my power, and light the core of yours. Let's see now who will rule." Suddenly, the priest vanished and launched a devastating attack at Gogeta's face. This time, he hit him for the first time. But Gogeta said with a smile, "Good. At least you moved 30% of my power. I deliberately held my ground to test your sincerity. 30%. Quite an achievement, don't you think?" The priest felt provoked. The battle began. Fast, brutal, violent. Each strike from Gogeta was calculated, while the priest exerted all his strength. Yet even his strongest blows had no effect on Gogeta. The surrounding planets began to crack, the sound of colliding energies echoing like thunder in this strange dimension. Then suddenly, the clash stopped. A heavy silence reigned. "Gogeta, every attempt you make will fail. No matter what you try, light always triumphs over darkness. Darkness cannot leave a mark when light is present." The priest smirked wickedly. "Do you think darkness is without limits? Sometimes light needs to be deceived to know where its strength truly lies, and that is where my magic begins." Suddenly, behind Gogeta, a massive gate opened, like a black void. Particles in space vibrated around it. Light seemed to be sucked inward, and the gravity around it grew heavy and terrifying. Gogeta turned quickly, yet remained composed. At this moment, the priest exploited this crack in focus and charged his energy suddenly. He screamed,
"Try handling this if you can! Now darkness will swallow your light, and no trace of you will remain!" But Gogeta did not flinch. He smiled with confidence, lifting one hand calmly. The lesson isn't in the attack, but in understanding who commands the darkness. Learn this: light is the master of everything. Suddenly, their energies burst outward at once. Their powers collided at a single point, causing a colossal explosion that lit up the entire realm. The priest unleashed every ounce of his strength, screaming, while Gogeta remained calm, using only one hand, smiling in absolute confidence. The pressure was so immense that even Earth in the original dimension shook for the first time. The friends felt the surge of power. Gogeta's light began to gradually repel the darkness, but the gate behind him was slowly absorbing particles of light unnoticed. This was the priest's hidden trap. The pressure continued until something strange happened. Gogeta felt a shock inside. A shiver surged through his body. He extended his other hand seriously, increasing his output with a force beyond anything he had shown before. Energies exploded around them. Only 1 second passed before this entire dimension quaked with a tremendous explosion that engulfed everything.
After moments of calm, Gogeta stood in silent contemplation, whispering to himself, "What is this feeling? If I had been 1 second late, it would have been the end. I've never felt this before, as if my essence and spirit were completely shaken." After the storm settled, the priest floated in the void, his body shattered from the impact. Gogeta looked at him, waiting for any reaction or movement. But suddenly, something strange caught his attention. The priest was smiling, a strange smile despite all the destruction. Suddenly, he began a free fall, descending into the lower clouds of this dimension, as if the place itself was swallowing him. Gogeta's eyes widened at the sight, but he didn't understand what was happening. What was even stranger, the fall didn't stop at one level. The priest kept sinking downward until he disappeared into the depths of a new layer of this dimension. After several seconds, Gogeta finally decided to move, following each descending level. A feeling of pressure and danger seeped into his heart as he descended, until he reached the lower dimension. He paused for a moment, breathing deeply and cautiously, trying to understand this place and its rules. Then suddenly, he looked down, and the shock hit him. Dark, pitch-black waters in the lower depth, waters that carried no life, as if they had swallowed all light and all hope. Gogeta said to himself, "This is strange. How could he fall apart so easily? All right, let's see what's below." Without hesitation, he descended into the depths of the black waters. The focused light within him protected him. He looked downward, and the shock intensified. The priest kneeling in the deep waters, a massive split tearing across his back, emitting a faint, mysterious light, a glow that did not match the priest's known nature. Gogeta stood still for a moment, eyes wide with astonishment. Then the priest turned, a cold smile on his face. Gogeta, breaking the silence sharply, "What is all this? I have no doubt that you designed this place. Every corner of it screams your deception." The priest chuckled briefly. "Good, very good. At least you realized, too late, that everything you saw was my stage. You didn't fight me. You were moving inside the limits of my plan." Gogeta interrupted him with chilling coldness. "The unfortunate part is that I played in your arena, and even so, you ended up a breathing corpse. Only one breath remains in you. After that, this arena will have no owner." The priest let out a sharp laugh, the laugh of someone who still has one last card to play. Suddenly, dark barbed wires emerged from the ceiling and walls.
The water below turned into a thick black mass, and the ceiling began closing gradually, like a perfect trap. Gogeta narrowed his eyes. "You think this will change anything?"
The first thing you must know is that you are now in a deeper dimension, and what you see as water is not water. It is a trap made of pure darkness particles designed to drain your light drop by drop. Slow death. Isn't it far more enjoyable? Gogeta clenched his fist. The priest continued. Wait. Any burst of anger from you, any release of energy, will accelerate the process. Every pulse of light you emit becomes nourishment for this darkness. Yes, your concentrated power was overwhelming, and I could never face you directly. So I built the arena in layers, from the planets you saw here to the hidden energies you didn't notice. Every small explosion loosened the bonds of your light a little, until I brought you to this place. And now that your fusion bonds have weakened, leaving you here will be easy. I wasn't trying to defeat you by force. I was trying to tamper with the internal structure of your light. It's like someone trying to collapse a building. Raw power won't break it, but one small strike at the foundation makes the whole thing fall. And now, let me leave you. This place will do the work instead of me." Gogeta watched silently. Then, the priest added something even more shocking. "This crack you see on my back is proof that one of my souls trembled from the pressure. Had you thought to strike with a pure, focused light attack, I would have lost a soul. But now, I still have 3 souls left." Rage exploded in Gogeta's eyes, and at that exact moment, luminous barbed wire spread around him, trapping him from all directions, squeezing him brutally. The priest smiled. "Now I will finish the mission. That child does not deserve another second of breath." Then the priest shot off at incredible speed toward planet Earth. He was laughing, having trapped Gogeta successfully, and was able to pierce through all dimensions thanks to the power of darkness, which allowed him to move like a shadow. On planet Earth, the sky flashed with a sudden light, like lightning, and suddenly the priest appeared alone, walking with steady steps, slow, yet with absolute confidence. Someone shocked, "What? He came back? Where are Goku and Vegeta?" Another, "Impossible! Only minutes have passed. How did he return this fast?" Zeno clenched his small fists, silent, his eyes widening in shock, unable to understand anything. The priest walked straight towards Zeno, grabbed him in a humiliating manner, and said, "I know destroying you through direct power won't work. So I prepared myself just for you, and now I will shatter your essence with the power of darkness." He extended his hand suddenly, but a single touch from Zeno sent the priest flying backward in a strange way, while the others watched, unable to understand what happened. "I forgot you can use that technique, but unfortunately, the limits of your power won't save you from the darkness." The priest shot forward at tremendous speed and struck Zeno with a crushing blow, sending him to the ground. The priest focused on Zeno. "I've trained myself in the art of dismantling the essence, the technique of unraveling internal bonds. Now, I will extract from every bit of your light, every ounce of power inside you, just as I did with your father." At that moment, the priest and everyone felt a violent tremor in existence. The priest recognized its source. He quickly placed his hand on Zeno's head, and darkness began spreading inside Zeno's body, almost devouring all his light. Suddenly, far away in the other dimension, Gogeta began screaming with overwhelming intensity, releasing every drop of energy inside him, the luminous bonds of the fusion weakening with every cry of rage. Then suddenly, he shot across the dimensions at impossible speed, heading toward planet Earth. All his remaining power focused in one colossal attack. At the crucial moment, Gogeta struck the priest's back with a massive light-filled blow, hitting directly through the crack in his back. Pure energy exploded with a radiance deeper and brighter than anything they had ever seen before. The priest screamed, thrown violently by the light, vanishing within a massive explosion of energy, light engulfing everything around him. Gogeta realized time was no longer on his side. Suddenly, he melted in front of Zeno, whose body was trembling, darkness consuming his essence. Gogeta said, "There's only a small spark left inside me, the final fragment holding this fusion together. But for you, I will burn whatever remains of me." He raised his hand over Zeno. Pure light spread out like celestial pulses, penetrating into the deepest part of Zeno's soul, fighting the darkness, tearing it apart from within.
Seconds later, Zeno opened his eyes, his purity restored completely. But before anyone could smile, Gogeta's body trembled, the light unraveled, and the fusion collapsed entirely. A faint burst of light erupted, throwing two bodies to the ground, Goku and Vegeta. The friends screamed in shock. Even Whis, who always knew everything, stood stunned. Suddenly, Goku let out a sharp cry of pain, clutching the pendant on his chest. He breathed heavily, as if the pain came from inside him, not from his body. But Vegeta, however, remained different, leaving everyone puzzled. Whis spoke with a worry he had never shown before. "I believe the fusion carried an unstable burden, and Goku took most of it upon himself, far more than his soul can withstand. Perhaps this is because his spiritual structure is different from Vegeta's, due to the pendant." The friends watched Goku, now drenched in sweat, his pain intensifying and the pendant's power trembling in his chest like a dying heartbeat. Before they could even breathe, the priest appeared suddenly from behind the debris, standing with his body torn apart, yet smiling. "I lost one soul, true, but I gained a chance that will never come again." He reached towards Goku's chest, grabbed the pendant, and ripped it out, as if tearing out Goku's heart. Goku's blood burst outward, and he screamed, a scream that shattered the silence of the heavens, a scream that shook the entire earth. Everyone felt it, like a stab to the soul. Goku collapsed to the ground, returning completely to his normal form, barely conscious. The priest raised the pendant as if holding a sacred treasure. "This piece is half of your soul, son Goku, and without it, your body will collapse." Then he laughed hysterically. But before he could finish his sentence, he was stabbed from behind. A blade pierced through his back and out his chest. The priest's eyes widened in shock, and the pendant fell from his hand to the ground. The shock continued. It was Vegeta, wielding the energy blade granted to him by Zeno's father. After the strike, the priest screamed like a beast resurrected from hell. The blade shattered, and an explosion blasted Vegeta backward. The priest fell to his knees, his body half broken. But once again, the crack in his back appeared, open like a wound that could never heal. Vegeta arose, clenching his fist. Seeing the crack clearly, the golden opportunity that would never come again, Vegeta, boiling with fury, This is your end. Then Vegeta unleashed a terrifying explosion of energy that shook the entire Earth. It crashed down on the priest like a mountain of concentrated light. Dust rose, swallowing the entire scene. Long seconds, and the shock. The priest was still on his knees. He hadn't fallen, he hadn't died. He raised his head with difficulty, yet he smiled. He let out a short laugh. Your power is no longer enough, Vegeta. The force required to destroy my second soul, you missed that window long ago.
The priest's laughter echoed through the air like nails driven into nerves. A rabid, confident laugh, dripping with contempt for everything around him. On the other side, Goku lay on the ground, struggling to breathe, pain devouring his chest like a beast. And Vegeta, he stood between them, unmoving, silent, his eyes closed, his head lowered, as if he were fighting every thought inside him. Seconds, then 10 seconds, then a full minute, and no one understood what was happening in his mind. Suddenly, he opened his eyes slowly and faced Goku with a look unlike any he had ever given him. He extended his hand toward Goku's chest, and royal divine energy burst out of him, flowing into Goku like pulses of life.
Goku gasped, his eyes widening. Vegeta, what is this? My body, it's completely healed. And this feeling, this strength, don't tell me you gave up Zeno's father's power? Vegeta did not answer. He remained silent, eyes closed, breathing deeply, as if swallowing the truth so not a single word would escape. Goku shouted again, Vegeta, what did you do? Talk to me! Vegeta finally opened his eyes and spoke in a calm voice, but one heavier than all the pain in the world. I gave you everything, Kakarot. Everything. Goku in shock and fear. But why? What are you planning to do? Vegeta, please say it honestly. Vegeta looked at the hand that had given the energy, as if he were looking at something he had left behind forever. Listen carefully, Kakarot. I don't need that power anymore. And now, it's my turn to carry what I must carry. Goku took a step forward, his voice trembling. No, Vegeta, don't do this. Please don't tell me you're... He was interrupted by a sharp yet sorrowful look. The look of a king who knows the end of his battle. It's over, Kakarot. That creature will recover his strength in moments. He still has 2 souls left inside him. And neither you nor I have the power to take the rest now. He lowered his head slightly. There is no other choice. I'll make sure he disappears with me. For the first time, Goku's voice shook. Vegeta, no! We'll fight together! We've always fought together! Vegeta smiled for the first time since the war began. A small smile, sad but unwavering. Time is no longer our ally, Kakarot. And now you carry the power of Zeno's father. You're the one who will continue the path. You're the one who will save everyone. He stepped forward and took Goku's hand, a heavy touch, filled with farewell. I want you to promise me, Kakarot. Take care of everyone. Take care of the whole universe. But before that, take care of them. Take care of Bulla. She's so much like me. Stubborn, strong, but kinder than I ever show. Don't let her think I left for no reason. He closed his eyes for a moment, as if fighting back a tear that almost fell. And Bulma, tell her that I tried to be the man she deserved until the very end. Goku's voice trembled. Vegeta, please don't do this. We'll find another way. But Vegeta smiled. That smile Goku knew well. The smile that appeared only when Vegeta's decision was final. There's no time, Kakarot. This is my final battle. Please, Don't let my death be meaningless."
Vegeta rose, his steps heavy yet steady, as if the earth itself receded before his resolve. Everyone whispered in shock. What? Is Vegeta going to sacrifice himself? Goku screamed from behind, but Goku's voice sounded like it came from another world, for Vegeta never turned back. He raised his hand, lifted it without looking behind him. A gesture of farewell, a gesture of finality, a gesture of a warrior who understood that his hour had come. His steps stopped at the center of the battlefield. Then he lifted his head slowly toward the sky. There, Bulma and Bulla were watching him from afar, their bodies trembling, tears pouring endlessly. Vegeta looked at them with a gaze filled with love, sorrow, and acceptance. Then he spoke aloud, firmly, though broken inside.
"Forgive me, but I finally understand the meaning of sacrifice. Power is no longer something I fight for. I fight for the ones I love."
Then he turned his body toward the priest, who was rising again, panting, sparks of returning strength in his eyes. Vegeta.
"Enough laughter, creature. Your time is over."
He lunged at him with tremendous speed, hurling the priest like a torn doll. Vegeta approached him slowly and said,
"I'll handle your end myself."
He grabbed the priest by the chest and shot upward into the sky, rising, rising, the air trembling around them. Heat surged, energy rose. Explosive sounds formed around Vegeta's body like a newborn sun. At last, the priest understood the truth and began screaming like a trapped beast. Then, light exploded. Pure light, clear, holy. A light like the smile of a child, a final moment of peace. A light that was not destruction. It was sacrifice.
Everyone looked upward, tears in their eyes. Even Zeno trembled as he held the pendant tightly. Goku fell to his knees, his eyes filled with tears as he whispered in a broken voice, "Your sacrifice wasn't in vain, Vegeta. I'll do the impossible. For you, for your family, for Zeno and his parents, for Goten, for everyone." Suddenly, the exploding light in the sky gathered again, and the priest manifested once more, but with a single body, one soul left. His form was pure rage, a monster of hatred. He looked directly at Goku. "Damn you. You destroyed my second soul, but I still have one left. Just one, and I will use it all to tear you apart. I'll make your death and agony beyond imagination." Goku did not move. He stepped forward once, anger rising from him without limits, as if the entire sky breathed with him. Zeno clutched the pendant, a tear choking him. "Goku, I'm sorry." Goku turned toward him, giving a small smile, but his eyes were burning with fire. Then he turned to the priest and said with fury, "I swear you will not see another dawn."